Okay, so we've just run through the rest of the map and we've ensured all the teleporters work. Now there is something I noticed. There was another benefit of that playtest, and obviously with bunny hop, if a player is not as good as you are testing it, then they're going to get stuck in certain parts and they're going to have to start from a standing position. In these cases, you don't want them to be pre-hopping. So for instance, this block here, we grab it. This might be a bad example, but we'll just check quickly anyway. This block is 192 units from the edge, so we know that a player will be able to easily jump to it. However, I believe there were a couple through here, yes. For instance, this one I felt was too far away. You had to pre-hop to get to it, so we can just drop a block there. Now, just by copying that, we don't have to set up the tellies again, they're already there. Again, this block was too far away. You can see that distance is too far just for a player to jump. So we'll just make some last minute modifications and ensure that the player can easily start jumping between these blocks. Now some of you guys who have been mapping before may have noticed we've mapped this in a particular way. First we laid out our blocks, then we built the geometry around it, and then we have finally added teleports. Now the reason we've done this is because while only 60% of our map is completed, we could actually release this map right now and it would be a fully playable map in Counter-Strike Go. So if you're new to mapping, something you'll learn very quickly is only 30% of the maps you start making you will finish. That's just how it goes. We do this for fun, it's a hobby. You lose interest in a lot of ideas you thought were cool. You decide they aren't actually that cool after a while, lose motivation, and your map just never gets finished. By going through with this method, even if we get bored of a map, we can still release it and we can still get people to play test it and we can learn from it, and some people might actually love it even if you don't. So even if you're mapping now, if you're getting bored of the process and you can't be bothered to clean up these types of weird aesthetic issues, you could release your map, and I recommend you do. However, in the next parts of the tutorial, we'll actually be going through and putting a little bit of polish on this map before releasing it. Alright guys, I'm going to say the details done. There's so much more you could do with this, it's just a matter of time. You spend the time, you put the love into the map, it'll all show off in the end. However, this is just an example map, so I've just done the very basics of covering up some areas and hiding some skybox issues. Now down here there's actually not that much light in the map, so we can go back to our template now. So I go Window, Cascade, File, Open, Bhop Template, grab our light, Control C, Window, Cascade, bring that back over here, boom, done. It's important to make sure that every part of the map's illuminated. Let's just find a good layout for this. In the darker areas. That should be fine. We might have to tweak that in a second. Alright, some things changed around, so to quickly check for leaks, we're going to go to Auto in our Viz groups on our right hand side, turn off entities, turn off Func Detail. We're just left with the world brushes, and you can do a quick fly around your map, make sure everything's neat, make sure you haven't created any Func details that you didn't want to create. I mean, there's some issues here. That's not ideal. That's going to create some weird issues. It'll increase compile time, but only by a small fraction. So we're just going to leave it. I changed some things up here, but otherwise it looks good to go. All right, so make sure we turn everything back on. We're going to test this map, and then we'll be ready to release. Still some weird issues, but not enough to really care. We're going to be blocked here, so we can't cheat through. Same with here. Just make sure we can't get through that. Okay, you actually can get through a 40 gap, so we're going to have to make that shorter. Yeah, here it is from the other side. It's like, woo! Yeah, okay, we'll have to fix that. Alright guys, I'll just quickly fix that up, and then we'll talk about how we finish the map, pack the map, and start getting it on some game servers.